Jai Hind doston. Welcome to Buland Honsle. In English, it means in high spirits. Today we have a very special guest with us, Agnes Bilik. Agnes is a renowned marketing consultant who has made significant strides in helping both B2B and B2C software companies streamlining their lead generation processes using AI tools. She has collaborated with global brands like SmartRecruiters and Radancy, creating growth strategies that deliver measurable results across APAC, EMEA, and the US. In addition to her consulting work, Agnes is a YouTube content creator where she shares practical tips on artificial intelligence and marketing to help businesses grow. She recently gained attention for her deep compassion for India, our beloved country, and her dream of opening a school here. Agnes is truly inspired by the unity in diversity that India represents. And we are so fortunate to have Agnes with us on Buland Honsle today. Agnes, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be a guest.
Wonderful, Agnes. Let's start with something fun. What's one thing about India that has completely captivated you?
Yeah, so I spent 2 months in India, in the south, in an ashram. And what really captivated me was how welcoming everyone was, that there was no discrimination because of age, race, or gender, and that there were no questions asked. And I just felt really home. And I also find that a lot of people maybe don't have a lot, but they're very hospitable and they want to invite you over for food. And I found that really inspiring to see that, because sometimes, let's say, when you interact with people who have more, um, they have a different type of mindset, and they just like want to gain as much as possible. And that's something that I found really inspiring. And apart from that, also all the spiritual wisdom that is present in the country, that was also something new to me that definitely inspired me.
Wonderful. I think in our country we believe in Atithi Devo Bhav, meaning a guest is next to God, and you got a perfect exposition of that sentiment as you have shared with us. Tell me something about you working with some very impressive global brands. Can you share a memorable experience or a funny story from your collaborations with them?
Yeah, I can tell you a funny story from a conference that I organized in Sydney. It was last year. So the conference was in an art gallery, and there were a lot of partners as well involved who were co-sponsoring the conference that was hosted by a tech vendor. And during the after party, one of the partners, she actually, was like a little bit dancing around, and then a banner fell into the art. And the art, obviously, in the gallery was like all very expensive. So that was like a really intense moment, because you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Are we covered by insurance? But the funny part was, in the end, the gallery never sent us a bill, or no one questioned anything. So yeah, I think that's kind of the funniest, crazy story that I've experienced.
Tell me one thing, as a YouTube content creator, you share a lot of valuable tips. What's the most unexpected feedback you have received from your viewers?
So there's one video that I released about 8 free AI tools. And someone made a comment if I could review another AI tool, because he thought that I had a very unbiased perspective in reviewing tools and displaying them. And he doesn't know anyone else like that on YouTube. And there are a lot of people who also like this comment. And I was just so surprised and amazed at the same time to get this kind of feedback, from a random stranger. So that was very impactful for me.
Yes, many a times we don't expect that kind of a candid feedback. And especially if it is positive and it helps you understand the kind of work you are doing, it does wonders to us.
Yeah, and it's just so different if it's someone who doesn't know you, right? Like they randomly comment on your content and it just feels then very personal and also amazing because people appreciate what you produce, and generally anyone who has ever put out content knows how much time and energy goes into it.
Yes, that's so true. Tell me one thing, you gained a lot of attention on your views about education in India and how you want to support. We all understand that you are passionate about education and about opening a school in India. What inspired this dream and how you think that you're going to bring it to life?
So I think that in order to have a life of limitless possibilities, it often is connected to knowledge and education, right? The way how our world works is like the more knowledge you have, for example, about the internet or currently even about AI tools, the more you can do and the more you can offer. And then because of that, the more you have freedom. And I saw that that there's generally a lot of poverty. That's what I just personally experienced. There are obviously various parts in India, but and I would especially like to, support women as well to have a good education and follow the path of their dreams.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what inspired that vision. And because I spent time there, I saw that there really would be a need for it. And because you also asked me, like, how do you envision to bring this to life? Well, at the moment, I'm also still working together with clients to support myself with everything. But I think what would be quite nice is if is enough interest to starting a crowdfunding campaign,
Mhm.
to just kind of start fundraising together with the people who are potentially interested in, joining their forces and making this dream come a reality.
It's very much doable. You have already gained a lot of attention. What you have to do is you have to just come out with a campaign. And
Yeah.
if there's some way we can help you, there's nothing stops anybody from achieving their dreams. And especially if it is for the larger good of the society, if it is about empowering them, empowering women, because the moment you do this, you change not only one life, you change coming generations.
Yeah, I think this is something which would be amazing, right? Like, I think the older you get, the more you think about what impact you want to have on this world and how many lives you touched throughout this lifetime. And that would definitely give me a lot of joy.
Absolutely. And we are with you, Agnes, for thinking about our community, about a very important and a relevant aspect of education. And you will find a lot of takers. I can assure you that much. If you happen to initiate this process, in our lives, in our world, what we need is someone to take that initiative. And I think you're that godsend opportunity.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Tell me something about AI and marketing being your specialities. If you could give one piece of advice to businesses just starting to use AI, that's the buzzword today. What would it be?
So I think nowadays a lot of people are already using tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, right? Um, but then if you just use them in a generic way, it still relatively takes a lot of time. And if I could give you one piece of advice, I would say build your own custom GPT. So take all of the data that you have about your product, your customers, all of it, and feed it into a custom GPT. And that will help you to craft your tone of voice so much more. And you will be so much faster in every way when it comes to writing emails, writing landing page copy, starting campaigns, social media posts. And the best part is if you don't only have actually one custom GPT, but you have multiple who are specialized for this particular task. So you could actually build one who perfectly crafts your tone of voice for social media posts. And if you have a couple of these, that's actually the first step. And then as a next step, you can go into automation tools like Zapier or Make, and automate the process.
Wonderful. I think this is something which is now catching up, where people are talking about custom chat GPT so that you are able to get maximum out of this artificial intelligence tool that has become such a sensation.
Exactly. I mean, it's crazy. Think about this even 2 years ago. It was like unthinkable.
And in fact, listeners, Agnes does this so beautifully. So if you are looking for someone who can help you with custom chat GPT, now you know whom to reach out to. Agnes, during our conversation with our guest, apart from these questions, no, it's always good to have some quick answers. And typical military fashion, we ask you some rapid fire question. I have my magazine ready, and I'm going to shoot it at you. You ready?
Let's do it.
Come
Let's do
on.
it.
Yes, that's the spirit. Agnes, if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? I stumped you.
Well, a historical figure. Um, I guess it would be Gandhi, because it reminds me of India, and he was a very inspiring man. So it would be him.
I think you were just too good. I stumped you for a second, but you came back like anything.
Thank you.
Okay, my next question. If you could instantly master any new skill, what would it be?
Something that I'm very interested in learning would be mind reading. Like, imagine you could master the skill of reading someone else's thoughts, of reading someone else's mind. That would be incredible, and it would solve so many problems when it comes to communication. So that would be it.
And at the same time, it would be pretty dangerous too when you get to know actually what they think about you.
Yes, exactly.
My next question. What's your favorite way to unwind after a busy day?
I'm a huge podcast lover. So I would say either listening to a podcast or an audiobook.
That makes two of us. Exactly. I love the same thing. And that's the reason I jumped into podcasting. I started with audio. Then one of my startup founders said that, Sir, why don't we do a video one? And I liked it. I'm still liking it. What is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
I would say progress beats perfection anytime, because I worked with multiple different companies together, small, medium, big. And the longer you especially work in a corporate environment, the more you want to be perfectionistic about everything that you put out. But any day, it's actually better to just go out there and try things as fast as possible. and not be stuck in the perfectionistic mindset, because most of the time you just keep standing still instead of progressing.
I think you said it. You hit the nail on the head. Progress over perfection.
And I
Perfect.
have to remind myself so often about this, you know.
And people, those who are there, we are always procrastinating a lot of things because we want to be perfect. Just go ahead, do it,
Exactly.
do it, and you will get polished over a period of time. First time it would be busty, second time you will improve, third time it would be better, and over a period of time you'll find that. And that's how players they improve themselves.
You know, the funny part is as well, a friend of mine, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
You're talking about
I
a friend
forgot
of
what it.
you, friend of yours.
Yeah. What were you saying again? Sorry,
I was
somehow.
talking about sports that you keep on playing, and every time initially you are rusty, and then you play, you keep on improving day by day, and one day you are a world class player.
Exactly. So a friend of mine, when I started my YouTube journey as well, I was like thinking a lot, should I put this video out or not? You know, can I still improve it? And then he was like, Agnes, you just have to accept that for the first one, you're gonna suck. It's just gonna be this way. Get over yourself, you know, and move on.
We shouldn't be having a lot of expectations. And what I've seen in relationships, even when we are expecting from ourselves, if we have very high expectations, initially it's a bad feeling because nothing works the way you get polished over a period of time.
Definitely.
Agnes, my next question is, if you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
So it'd be Hawaii for me. I really like islands, and I heard a lot of good things about Hawaii. I love Bali as well, so I imagine it to be quite similar. So that's still one place in the world that I would like to explore at some point in life.
Amen. May all your dreams come true. My next question, what's a hobby or interest you have that might surprise people? Go share it with all of us here.
So when I have a really tough day, I tend to go sometimes to a boxing gym where I just take the gloves and I just fight.
Wonderful.
And I just leave it all out. And I think a lot of people don't see me this way because I also like to meditate, which is kind of quite the opposite of it. But I find that it's really great if you just have a lot of things going on and you just want to clear your mind.
Yes. And it helps you give vent to a lot of things while doing boxing. And my advice to your sparring partner would be better watch out if she's not in a good mood.
Thank you.
And my final question to you is, what's your favorite quote or saying that you live by?
Yeah, I love the most. You miss 100% of you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, because I feel like it's so often that we're in our head about, should I write this email, or should I ask the person this question, or should I approach this cute guy over there, right? And I think the more you just go for it and you try it, and then at least you get the no, you won't have any regrets.
Yes. A life of no regrets is a life well lived.
I couldn't have said it better.
Agnes, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. Your insights into artificial intelligence, marketing, and your heartfelt connection to India are truly inspiring. For our listeners who want to learn more from Agnes, whether it is about India, artificial intelligence, marketing, or even how to get into a boxing ring, Be sure to check out her YouTube channel for practical tips on artificial intelligence and marketing, and her social media channels have been listed out in the podcast description. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Buland Honsle. It will help you stay in high spirits, and certainly leave us a review. How did you like this very episode? Follow us on our social media handles for updates and upcoming episodes and more exciting content. We'll keep on bringing you people from across the world as interesting as Agnes, and they will be divulging some secrets that nobody knows. Agnes, it was indeed a pleasure to have you on this show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you for tuning in, friends, and we will see you next time.